Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to now welcome the husband of Sarah Chan. As this is Daughter's Day, please welcome Mayor Don Iveson.
Well, thank you, Alexis. You don't know it, but you've just made Sarah's day, which means you've just made mine. So, but no, actually, thank you for bringing that up, because without her, I absolutely would not be able to do what I do. She's phenomenal. So, in our family, it is a challenge sometimes having a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, but Sarah holds it together, as well as working, as well as volunteering, doing about 10 different things, including a number of causes represented in the room here today. So I was going to talk about Alice a little bit, but thank you for reminding me about Sarah. So the whole city is lucky to have her, and so am I. So Tansik, that's Cree for hello. People have been saying that here for thousands and thousands of years, in a place that we've called Edmonton for a couple of hundred years, but was called Amiskwitchi Waskahigan for thousands of years beforehand, and still called that by many people. That means Beaver Hills House. And it is Treaty 6 land. It's the land that we all share. And if you look at Treaty 6, it's actually a really helpful document thinking about how we can live together, because it's about mutual respect across cultures. And it's actually a foundational piece of multiculturalism. And I don't know if you know, but multiculturalism was a word that was coined by an Edmontonian, John DeCore, who was a member of Parliament, who said it in Parliament in the 1950s. So this idea of diversity that I can see manifest in the people who are here today, and this idea of inclusion, which is one of the things that we're talking about, it's a key theme in what we're here to celebrate. This idea that everybody belongs. We're different, we're unique, we're special, each in different ways, but everybody belongs. That everybody should be included, that everybody is equal, and that we all have inherent dignity. These are the values that I think we're here to celebrate, and in particular, with our thoughts to all daughters, because we've not yet achieved gender equality. We've not yet achieved full inclusion, and so we have work to do. But we have inspiring role models. We have women who are here to be recognized today, and daughters who have been recognized in previous years who are doing extraordinary things, regardless of their gender, but also doing extraordinary things to empower themselves and to empower women, and providing great leadership in our community. So my hat's off to you, the award recipients for later today in the program. And on behalf of Councillor Caterina and Councillor Sohi and all of us at City Hall, we really are amazed with the work that you do, and it makes a positive difference in the community, and it helps us achieve and move closer to full inclusion, full dignity, full equality. But there's still work to do, and that's why we're going to have to keep celebrating Daughters Day, and we always should, because we have to celebrate the people who are special around us. And so I'm very grateful to Judge Bhatia and Mr. Kara and Mr. Das and Mr. Penu for bringing this together, and I know Councillor Sohi's been involved since the beginning as well. And then to all of the other volunteers, pulling something like this together takes a lot of work. So let's show our appreciation for all of the volunteers who helped put today together. If you don't already know, then I'll remind you that the city is fully committed to that journey towards equality and inclusion and full dignity. And we're showing it in a number of different ways, from our Women's Initiative, which I was privileged to launch with full council support, but alongside with Councillor Bev Essinger, who sends her regrets. She'd love to be here, but has a community event she'd committed to. But she and I are working together alongside our WAVE committee, which was formed, and I know there are a number of WAVE committee members here today. That's our Women's Advocacy Voice of Edmonton Committee, which is 15 extraordinary women drawn from a list of 143 extraordinary women who applied, which gave us real hope that there were lots of people who wanted to participate, who wanted to take that voice, and who were confident in knowing that council wanted to hear from them. And so that's just one piece of what we're doing. We're continuing now in our third year with our mentorship program for women interested in municipal politics. And we've got pretty good participation from council. I think we've got 9 members of council, including myself. A number of us seeing the need to increase the representation of women on our council have taken 2 mentees this year. I'm working with a Cree woman and a South Asian woman. And so we're trying to address diversity on our council in every conceivable way. And we're committed very strongly to that. Certainly I am. And I think we're going to make progress there, judging by, again, the women who stepped forward. I think we had 50 applications for that program, so we're oversubscribed, and that's why a number of us took 2. And so we're doing what we can. There's probably more we can do. There are more and more channels for us to hear from you about what we can do. We're also working on inclusion through our multicultural initiatives, through our Aboriginal initiative, and there are dimensions of gender in each one of those as well. And our poverty initiative, which, when you look at the poverty numbers, you'll find an overrepresentation of women, find an overrepresentation of women in single-parent families, and we know that they're going to require special support so that their kids can be successful in learning and in development, and so that they can be successful. And so we have, I think, an opportunity, and I don't want to get too political today, but we have a bit of an opportunity over the next 18 months to set the agenda in this province. If Edmonton speaks with one voice and demands action. I've spent a lot of time advocating for physical infrastructure that our city needs, and I'm going to continue to do that. So we need LRT, we need bridges, we need parks, we need libraries, we need hospitals, and we need schools. We need post-secondary expansion. We need things very desperately in order to keep up with the extraordinary growth of our city. 60,000 people in 2 years. St. Albert in Edmonton in 2 years. And it's not slowing down, at least not anytime soon. So we need a lot of physical infrastructure, and we're going to keep battling for that. But it doesn't matter unless we have full inclusion, unless we develop our human infrastructure, our social infrastructure. And there's going to be a battle in this province for who's going to do that work, especially in the cities, where inequality is, I think, at its greatest, where the people who are in greatest need of assistance and empowerment and investment, so that they in turn can give back more to the community, that need is greatest in the cities. And there's going to be a battle for that. And I'm looking forward to chatting with whoever gets the job tonight. And you can rest assured that I'm going to be talking to them about human infrastructure first and physical infrastructure second. But we need all of it, and so, but we need it because we have an opportunity. And I don't want Edmonton or Alberta to be the place of missed opportunities. I want it to really be the land of opportunity for everybody, not for 9 out of 10 of us, not for half of us, but for everybody. So we have that opportunity, and with the support of people like you in this room, working on our poverty initiative, working on our women's initiative, serving in public service, whatever it is that you're doing as an active citizen is helping, because these issues are becoming undeniable. We had a provincial government that talked about poverty for the first time in a generation at the last election. We need to remind them that they talked about it in the last election before they run the next election. So I'll need your help for that. Now I'm getting way too political. So, Daughter's Day is special for me because Alice is 2, and she's my daughter, and it's fantastic. But I want her to grow up in the kind of city where there's no longer a question about her dignity or her safety or her inclusion in any aspect of community life or the workforce or her health. So again, it's thanks to folks like you putting an event like this together and shining a light on the need to talk about difficult issues like violence, disproportionate violence, and public safety challenges for First Nations, Métis, and Inuit women, for people living in poverty, for immigrants and refugees dealing with cultural transition. We need to keep talking about these things, as if we ever pretend that everything's fine just because it's fine for 9 out of 10 of us, those other 1 out of 10 are going to continue to struggle. And that's not good. But we can do this, working together. And so I'm privileged to stand with you here today on Daughter's Day so that Alice and all of the other 2-year-olds can grow up in a world where there is no gender discrimination, where there is no violence. So, it gives me great pleasure to, and I'll ask Councillor Caterina and Councillor Sohi to come help me with the proclamation. Come on up. We'll do this together. Any other councillors show up in the meantime? I didn't mean that disrespectfully. They're out doing other important things. There's lots going on in a city of 878,926 people. So, we'll just take a paragraph, eh? And then we'll do the last one. Whereas women of all ages around the world face many forms of abuse, neglect, poverty, and violence.
And whereas Daughters' Day raises awareness of these issues and celebrates the lives and achievements of all women.
Whereas by working together, we can educate the public and advocate in the interest of daughters locally, nationally, and internationally.
And whereas the City of Edmonton recognizes the tremendous contributions of women who make our city a more vibrant, dynamic, and inclusive place to live, therefore we, all together, do hereby proclaim September 6, 2014 as Daughters' Day in Edmonton, Alberta's capital city.